Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I am Papa Pepper, and today I've got a crazy tale of scorpions and tarantulas and all sorts of stuff. For those who really know me and who I talk about offline about stuff, the line of work that I do and some of the stuff I get involved in becomes very peculiar, and it puts me in a lot of very interesting places, but then I also sometimes get downtime in just the weirdest places. So whether it's running around at night by a hotel finding geckos, or whether it's jumping in the Gulf of Mexico, or whether it's whatever it may be, I try to make the best use of my time, and some of that involves exploring. I always say you never know what you're gonna find, but you find more when you look, and that is absolutely true. Look at this little guy. This is the smallest. He's not doing too good. I think he got stung by a scorpion, actually. That's the smallest little tarantula I've ever seen. If you compare something that size with something this size, there's definitely a difference. And this one's actually so chill that it sat there on my friend's shoulder and crawling around on his shirt for probably 15 to 20 minutes while we were off doing what we were doing. So basically, after getting stalled at a building supply company for an hour and a half to 2 hours, where a number of us were unable to do anything, and we were just waiting on them to get some stuff pulled out for us. Very, stressful, because really for each hour you lose, you're losing, 3 man hours of actual labor getting done, and then of course that puts you behind too. So that was rather rough, but we finally got to the job site and it was too late for us to do anything. So we actually were able to take a little bit of time exploring in the woods, heading towards the lake, and the lady who we were doing the work for, who lives there, does not like stuff like this. She just doesn't. So therefore, if we happen to encounter them, and trust me, when you're out in the woods and it's just a bunch of rocks and cool things, and you're like, the first thing I said is, this really looks like a good area for scorpions. That was one of the first things I said. Under one of the first rocks, we found an exoskeleton of a scorpion that had shed. So scorpions will sit there and we have our bones on the inside, they have their hard part on the outside, their exoskeleton. They actually molt periodically. They shed that exoskeleton like a crayfish would, like many other different creatures, crustaceans and other stuff. And that exoskeleton was there and intact. And I said, okay, so we got scorpions in the area. And we continued to look, and the first tarantula we found was actually a mama with an egg sac. But as we encounter these things, we can't just go off into somebody's woods and tell them, hey, we saw a whole bunch of tarantulas and scorpions and we left them there for you. They would not appreciate it at all. So we got to relocate them when we find them in a situation like this. It's like some of the snakes around here. A lot of my neighbors hate the snakes. A lot of my neighbors kill every snake they see. There's no reason for any of that. And just like people who are terrified of, like, say, big, ferocious, dog-fighting pit bulls, not that all pit bulls are, but just like they wouldn't run up to somebody with a purse puppy and kill the purse puppy because some dogs are dangerous and can hurt people. Unfortunately, there's a disconnect with people that, somehow every single snake is going to be bad. So I periodically do a roundup. I did a roundup with my son yesterday, and we just found a couple non-venomous ringnecks, but we gave them a good home here because we didn't need to leave them up there. People wouldn't want to hear that we saw some and left them. So this guy was one of the bigger ones. We actually found 3 tarantulas today and 6 scorpions. And what I want to do is stay on good terms with this person. And I'll tell you what, especially after hearing about stuff like this, sometimes people like it when you're able to come back and do it again. Of course, for us, we like it because this is fun stuff for us. I'm gonna see if I can get this mama tarantula out with her egg sac here. I've never seen anything like it. It's like the size of a golf ball. So the first thing we saw under one particular rock was this. And this looks super crazy. It looks like a turtle egg or a ping pong ball or a deflated, I don't know, golf ball, I guess. And then we saw that she was holding onto it. If I show her it right now, she'll probably be happy to find it and want to hang out with it. She was pulling it around with her earlier, but I've never seen a mama tarantula. We spent some time recently talking about tarantulas and males and females and kind of their whole system, but I've never seen one with an egg sac before. I can only guess that this is a tarantula egg sac because it looks like a spider egg sac, and we have a female here. I'm gonna stand up a little bit, give you guys a better shot at that. But yeah, that is crazy. So then the thing is, do we temporarily detain her and find out how many eggs a mama tarantula can lay? You know, that's the question I'm considering right now. How many eggs, or how many babies, you know, can a mama tarantula have? We've got this one here. She's got this golf ball size almost egg sac. She's very concerned about it and she wants to be a good mama and take care of it. And actually, I forgot to bring it home, but we found a centipede the other day and she must have stayed with her eggs till they hatched. And she had all these tiny little, you know, like white, almost translucent babies, a whole pile of like 100 of them by this, you know, big orange centipede, and she was hanging onto them all. And in all my life, I've never seen that. I'll be 40 this fall. My children had never seen that. The friends we were with had never seen that. But yeah, who knew they were such good mothers? So same thing here. You know, who knew that they would be such good mothers? So I think I might just temporarily detain her to see what happens with this egg. You know, egg sac, just to see what happens, because that is crazy. And then of course that brings us to the next one, which is we started finding scorpions like crazy. Now I have some experience with scorpions. The first time I ever found them was down in Texas behind a gas station, and the big egg carton crates where you can get like 24 in a layer or whatever it is. There was one of those behind a gas station, I think in Austin. I picked it up and there was 2 scorpions under there, and I'm like, wow, this is like getting crickets at the pet shop. So what I did is I decided to try to figure out how to grab them. I'm like, well, you know, a venomous snake is dangerous, but if you have their head, they can't bite you. A scorpion stings from the tail. I'm like, so if I grab their tail, they can't sting me? And my brother-in-law was looking at me, he goes, what? And I said, yeah, I think that's it. And I go and I grab it, and been doing it ever since. I don't know if there's a better way. It seems like that's what people do. But then one of my workmates, you know, I asked him, I said, hey, have you ever grabbed them before? After I had like 5 already. And he goes, no, but I've seen you do it. And I said, well, if you want to try, you know, and he did. He's that type of person. He's the same one who was walking around with the other tarantula on his shoulders. So just crazy and cool to see. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I'm optimistic that hopefully she can be a good mama and hatch those eggs. And like I said, I want to get out there again. It seemed like a great place for rattlesnakes. We didn't find a single snake. We only saw one lizard the whole time we were there. But that brings me to these scorpions that we have. And these scorpions are crazy. So anytime I deal with things that are venomous and potentially dangerous, like this scorpion, I try to have a certain level of control. I'm hanging out of this one's tail and stinger right now. And I was just talking with a friend originally from Texas on the phone earlier, and he says, yes, these bark scorpions are not fun to get stung by. This is not something that's most likely going to kill me, but it is something that if it stings me, I'm going to have a whole lot of not fun. I mean, the wood tick bites and the chiggers and stuff like that already around here are not fun enough. I don't need to add some scorpion stings to that. So this one's actually got a very long tail. It's a very interesting creature. It just tried to sting me. I felt the tail twitch. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till after dark too and just roll a little bit of ultraviolet light for you guys to see how these guys light up. I just seen that, I think Roots and Refuge just did a video on finding tomato hornworms using UV lights in their garden because they light up. These guys light up too, and I never even personally ever looked for the hornworms with them. I just got them for scorpions. So pretty cool, great to see. You know, it's not every day people, even in my area, get to find scorpions and stuff like that. And I do know some great places to let these go back into the wild where they're not going to be a threat to people, and then also, you know, where people aren't going to be a threat to them. So here's a look at 2 of the ones with stingers here, and you can see how they just light up with this UV flashlight. So if they were on the ground and you shined at it, I'll show you that quick without letting them go. I'm going to set them on the ground without getting stung, hopefully. Okay, now let's say I'm walking along with my UV flashlight. You see how that just glows like that? That's what these flashlights are for. Like I said, you could probably also use them to find hornworms, apparently. I forgot about that. But these scorpions, I mean, they light up like a white t-shirt. You know, you look around on the ground, there's really nothing going on like that. You encounter them, it's a whole different look. So especially people out in the deserts and stuff, use these sometimes as well. So good handy little tool to have. If we lived in an area with more scorpions directly around us, I would definitely use this flashlight a lot more often. Go look for them, but now it's more of a hobby than a keeping our family safe type thing. And one thing too that I noticed is this little guy here actually doesn't even have a stinger. So when I mentioned that and showed that to my children, they were like, whoa, so we can hold it, huh? And I said, well, hold on. We might get to that point. But yeah, there it is on my elbow. This one doesn't even have a stinger. At least I hope I put the right one on me. So I guess, I don't know. It seems to have been living well. It's not as fat as some of the other ones, but it has, you know, no stinger. So poor little guy must have gotten a fight before or something happened, and it just lacks that capability. So sad to see, but like I said too, it kind of gives you an opportunity to check them out a little safer than you would otherwise if they had a stinger. And I've done this with ones with stingers. I wouldn't recommend it. As with most things I do, you don't have to. But straight bark scorpions, like I said, we found 6 of these today. We found 3 tarantulas. Moved them off of the lady's property because a lot of people, again, leaving things somewhere, or if you listen to what people say about them, it would just be kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. And, you know, I realize not every animal is warm and cuddly and fuzzy and something everyone wants around, but they do have places in our ecosystem. They were created for reasons, and even when they pose a potential threat to people, if you know how to be around them, and the easiest way is just to leave them alone and stay out of their environment. And if you're out in their environment, you know, be cautious, be aware. If you're able to do those things, a lot of times they're not really much of a threat or much of a problem. But hopefully I'll be able to go back. Hopefully I'll be able to do a video of finding some of these. Maybe there is some snakes out there too. It just really seemed like the type of place. So I'll leave you guys at that. Just wanted to share this. Let me know what you think too. Should I save that mama with the egg sac for a minute and see how many come out of there? I know when I did that with a black widow, I guess 213, but I didn't actually count them all. There was a ton of babies with that. So let me know, and Papa out.